always thought stories about alien abductions were clickbait, cheap thrills to sell ads or rake in views. I'd laugh at the late-night talk shows and the grainy cell phone footage people swore was proof. I never imagined I'd become someone else's proof until last night. It was close to 12:45 a.m. when I left the diner after a double shift. The air smelled of wet asphalt and cold pine. The highway that cuts through Black Hollow Forest is 20 miles of dark nothing. No lights, no towns, just endless trees leaning in like they're listening. Rain drummed a restless rhythm on the roof of my old sedan. My phone rested in the cup holder, screen glowing 82% battery. Music low, heater humming. I should have felt safe. Instead, a nervous static rode the edge of my thoughts, like a station almost, but not quite, tuned. Then the first thing went wrong. Without warning, the dashboard lights dimmed. The music warbled, slowed, and died mid-note. I reached for my phone, still bright seconds ago, and found it black. Dead, not even a restart buzz. 82% to 0 in an instant. The only sound left was the hiss of tires slicing wet pavement and my own heartbeat, suddenly too loud. That's when I saw them. 3 pale green orbs hung above the tree line to my left. At first I thought they were reflections, maybe a radio tower or a trick of the rain, but they didn't blink, they didn't sway, they just hovered, perfectly still. Each orb pulsed with a slow, deliberate rhythm, ba-dum, ba-dum. A heartbeat I could feel inside my chest, syncing with my own. I whispered out loud, "What the hell?" My voice sounded too small in the heavy air. The engine coughed once, a dry, metallic hack, and every warning light on the dashboard blazed scarlet. Seatbelt, oil, battery, all at once. The steering wheel stiffened under my hands like it wanted to lock. I guided the car to the shoulder, breath fogging the glass. Then the hum began. It wasn't loud, it was inside loud, a low frequency that vibrated in my bones, rattled my teeth. The rearview mirror trembled, though the air around me felt perfectly still. Colors outside dulled to sickly gray, like someone drained the world of life. I opened the door. The forest smelled wrong, like scorched metal and ozone after a lightning strike. The 3 orbs lowered in eerie unison. Their light painted the slick highway a ghostly emerald. They merged slowly, smoothly, until a single disk floated above the trees. It was blacker than the night sky, edges ringed with crawling veins of green light that writhed like living circuitry. I should have been terrified enough to run. Instead, I stepped closer as if some silent command pressed on my skull. My feet splashed through shallow puddles, but I barely heard them over that bone-deep hum. The disk tilted, and from its center poured a column of, not light exactly, but absence. A pure white, so intense it felt hollow, like a cut in reality itself. The beam swallowed me. My muscles froze. I couldn't move, couldn't even blink. Rain that had been falling in sheets now hung motionless in the air, each droplet suspended like tiny glass marbles. My breath caught halfway out and stayed there, unspent. Time dissolved. I felt my heart stop and continue at once. Then the whispers came. Not words, not really. They were images forced into my head. My childhood bedroom wallpaper curling in the heat of summer. My mother's voice calling my name backwards. A shadow standing over my bed when I was 6, a memory I'd buried. The taste of copper filled my mouth. A single message burned through it all, clear and cold. You already belong to us. I tried to scream, My throat locked. The only sound was the static crackle of my own thoughts. The hum crescendoed until it felt like my skull would fracture. And then, silence. I stood alone in the middle of the highway. No car, no discount, no orbs. Only dawn's first gray bleeding across the horizon. My watch said 1 minute had passed, but the road beneath my feet was bone dry, as if the storm had never existed. I turned in circles, dizzy, searching for tire tracks. Nothing. I walked, for hours maybe. Time felt elastic, snapping and stretching until I didn't trust the sky to stay put. When I finally reached home, my apartment door was unlocked, though I was sure I'd bolted it. Inside, the air was heavy, humming faintly. In the bathroom mirror, I saw it, a perfect circle etched into my left forearm. Raised, faintly luminescent, pulsing with that same slow heartbeat rhythm of the orbs. The skin around it tingled with a heat that wasn't heat, more like a low electrical current. I scrubbed until the skin bled. The circle remained, glowing softly in the dark when I killed the lights. It's been 24 hours. Every electronic device in my apartment flickers at random. The TV powers on at 3:13 a.m. with nothing but static. My clock loses time, then gains it back. When I try to record the hum on my phone, the audio file is always empty. Through the curtains, I see faint, deliberate flashes above the tree line. Not stars, not planes, patterns I almost, but not quite, understand. I don't sleep anymore. When I close my eyes, I feel them behind them, pressing. Sometimes a low vibration rolls through the floorboards as if something enormous is passing beneath the building. I keep telling myself it was a dream, but every night the hum grows louder. And every night, just before the moment I drift off, I hear the same whisper, soft as breath against my ear. You're coming back. I used to love night drives. They were my therapy. Windows down, music up, stars scattered like diamonds across the endless rural backroads. Those hours felt like freedom. Just me, the quiet hum of tires, and the boundless dark sky above. But after what happened last Friday, I don't even glance upward anymore. Now the night feels alive, watching. It began like every other late ride home. I left my friend's cabin just after midnight, taking the old quarry road, a ribbon of cracked asphalt slicing through abandoned farmland. The moon hid behind heavy clouds, leaving only a faint silver smear over the treetops. The air smelled sweet, like wet earth after rain, and a cool breeze slid through the open windows. I tapped the steering wheel in time with the music, trying to shake off the drowsy comfort of the party's last drinks. The road curved between fields of waist-high grass. Occasionally, a broken fence post leaned in the dark, like a silent witness. No houses, no traffic, only my headlights cutting a tunnel through the black. Then the first tremor of unease, a soft hiss in the radio, buried beneath the song. I turned the volume up to drown it out, but the hiss grew, an almost voice, whispering in a language I didn't know. Halfway through the woods, my dashboard flickered as though something invisible brushed the wiring. The headlights dimmed, then flared blinding white for a split second before snapping to black. My engine coughed twice, metal grinding like teeth, and went silent. The car rolled to a stop in the center of the road. I sat in the sudden dark, heart hammering. My phone still glowed a second ago. Now the screen read, "No service. Battery, 76%. I blinked. Then a soft pop echoed from the speaker, and the display went dead. No restart buzz, no warmth, Nothing. Outside, the night pressed in. Too quiet. The constant insect chorus. Gone. Even the breeze had stopped, as if the forest were holding its breath. A cold shimmer pulsed above the distant tree line. At first it looked like heat lightning, a storm gathering far away, but it moved, slow, deliberate, until it hovered directly over the road ahead. It wasn't a plane, no navigation lights, no engine hum, just a slow, swirling spiral of white and violet, each rotation measured and hypnotic, pulsing like a living heartbeat. I gripped the steering wheel until my knuckles whitened. My chest tightened as if the air thickened to syrup. Every instinct screamed run, yet my legs refused. I could only watch. The spiral widened, stretching until it filled the sky. A low vibration seeped through the ground, rattling the car doors and the fillings in my teeth. The air vibrated against my skin. A bass note felt more than heard. I reached for the door handle. It wouldn't move. Then the world tilted. My stomach dropped as if gravity itself had shifted sideways. Loose pebbles on the road began to rise, one by one, dash, dash, floating upward like tiny satellites. My hair lifted from my shoulders, though the night remained windless. The smell of ozone bit the back of my throat. A faint metallic taste coated my tongue. A column of soft blue light poured down from the heart of the spiral, blinding yet cold, as if it carried the chill of deep space. When it touched the hood of my car, the metal groaned like stretched wire. I felt the pull, gentle but absolute. My feet left the ground. I screamed, or tried to, but no sound escaped. Even the pounding of my own heart fell silent, as though the universe had paused. Images exploded in my head. A coastline of black water under 3 burning suns, a giant door of crystalline glass opening to a void that breathed, a child's lullaby sung backward in my voice. Memories that were mine and not mine flickered like old film. Time fractured into bright shards. Through it all, a single phrase pressed into my mind like a brand. The exchange is complete. The words echoed without sound, vibrating in the space where thought should be. I woke sprawled across the driver's seat, a line of drool cooling on my chin. Morning light spilled through the windshield. Birdsong returned in a sudden deafening wave. The car's clock read 12:07 a.m., only 7 minutes after I'd left the cabin. But my wristwatch showed 4:32, 4.5 hours unaccounted for. My phone blinked alive as if nothing had happened. Battery, 76%. In the gallery waited a single new photo I hadn't taken. A dark horizon with 3 pale suns aligned like watchful eyes. Shaking, I checked the rearview mirror and froze. Behind my left ear, just beneath the hairline, a thin circle of skin glowed faintly, perfect and smooth, pulsing in rhythm with my heartbeat. I touched it. A tiny static shock raced up my arm. It's been 3 nights since. Every electronic in my apartment hums when the room is quiet. The refrigerator light flickers in patterns that feel deliberate. At exactly 4:32 a.m., the TV clicks onto a screen of gray static, no matter if it's unplugged. When I stand too close to a mirror, a faint violet halo rings my reflection, shimmering like heat over asphalt. Sometimes my own eyes seem to flash with an inner white spark. I catch it only in the corner of my vision. Sleep brings no peace. Each night I return to the Blackwater coast, cold sand between my toes. The 3 suns hover above the horizon, pulsing like patient hearts. I hear the reversed lullaby, my own voice threading through the dark. I don't drive at night anymore, but sometimes, even with the curtains drawn, a pale spiral of light blooms against the fabric. Not outside, but from within the room itself. It pulses in time with that circle behind my ear, and every time I close my eyes, just behind my heartbeat, I hear the same soft, mechanical whisper. The exchange is complete. We will return.